Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you how to make backpacks with the Escape from Tarkov SDK. All you'll need is a couple things. The Escape from Tarkov SDK, the actual model you want, and the example model loaded into Blender. So let's get started. So firstly, when you open up the SDK, you're going to see a couple folders here. You won't have all the ones I have because this is my own personal project, but you'll have examples and scripts and stuff. Go into examples, go to models, go to the example character, right click, show in Explorer, and then we're going to copy this location up top. We're going to go to Blender, File, sorry my pen's messing up, File, FBX, Paste, example character.fbx. So now we have the actual character. So what we're going to need to do now is load in our model. So I'm going to go import mine. So your model might be a little bit bigger or smaller depending on the size of it. Mine's really small, so I just have to scale mine up. And just gotta move it to where his backpack would normally be. So what we can do is we can hide the skeleton real quick for both of our characters, or both of our models. Realistically, I just need to hide the backpack as well. And this looks like it's on already pretty good. Granted, there's a little bit of clipping here, but you can't really do that much about that. Versus the camelback. The camelback lies a little bit under it, but that's okay. So realistically, we could just move this down a little bit. As long as it's not clipping with the character, you'll be okay. See, it should. Push it back a bit. Up just a smidge. There we go. Just turn on all the parts. Looks pretty good. All we have to do now is just set the model's location and scales. So all we're going to do is select the entire thing. I'm going to hit Control A, click on all transforms, and then we can actually remove the skeleton. And then I just have to combine my model, and then from there we can turn on the Tarkov character and delete the parts we don't need. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure it fits on them. See a little bit of clipping as well, so I'm just going to move it up a smidge. There we go. And move it down a bit, just a bit. There we go. Make sure to do all transforms again with Control A. And then we can go ahead and turn the vest back on. It looks good. Not too much clipping. So all we're going to do now is we can get rid of the head. We can get rid of the vest and the rest of the body. Now we just have the backpack and both the backpacks. We just have our backpack and the game's backpack. So mine already comes with weights, seeing it was from a different game engine and that uses a different skeleton. So I'm just going to clear all of my weights in the vertex groups. And then we're going to go ahead and check these ones in here, and they look pretty good. So all we would need to do now is just click on the bag, the Tarkov bag, then click on the bag of choice with this one, then go to weight paint, and then weights, transfer weights, and then we're going to do by name, and it'll automatically set it to all layers, so that's good. It's the ray radius to 3, and we're going to set the vertex mapping to nearest face interpolated. Now what that's going to do is it's going to automatically weight paint it for us. It's just going to transfer the weights from Tarkov to ours, so we can go ahead and actually look at them real quick. Make sure they look nice. Granted, I would always suggest going back through these and trying to fix them up a bit yourself. And as you can see, there's no backpack weight, so what I'll have to do is I'd always recommend this, put the backpack on spine 3. And then we can just weight it all in like this. Granted, this is not a great method, but it works for the time being. And then I just gotta paint a little bit on here with my pen. Alright. Just a little bit more in the back, and we can just do this with a quick gradient. Just push it out a little bit more. There we go. So now the model's mostly done. Granted, I wouldn't want to do it like this. I would much rather paint it manually while starting from the transfer weights, but that was really quick. I'd recommend taking your time with the weight painting and making sure it all looks good, so when it gets in the game it doesn't stretch in weird ways or bend in ways you don't like. But for now, seeing as this is just for the tutorial, it's okay. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, turn this backpack and skeleton back on. We're going to move the model into the skeleton, our model. We can delete the Tarkov one, and then we can click on the backpack, go to the armature, or we can go to the modifiers here, and we got to give it a new armature if it doesn't have one. If it doesn't, just click on add modifier, put it on armature. Mine already does. So from there, we're going to click on object, skeleton, or you can select it with the little selector there. And then we can go ahead and save this. So let me go ahead and save as there we go, radio pack. And now all we have to do is put this blend file in Unity. So I'll show you guys how to do that in a second. Alright, once we've gone to our folder where we saved this, all we have to do is drag the blend file inside of Unity. And make sure that all blend files are selected with Blender. Make sure it's the default app so it'll import into Unity correctly. And then from there we can just put our textures in and just drag it into the right, or drag it into the left, sorry. Drag it into our scene. Then we're going to right click on it, click on unpack prefab completely. And now you can see we have the Tarkov skeleton, which we don't need to really worry about, and we have our model. So firstly, we're going to go click on the model, click on, you'll have this import settings on the right side, click on materials, extract materials, just hit select folder because it'll extract it right here, or you can put it wherever you want. Let me go ahead and put that there, this here. Alright, so now all we need to do is set up our textures for the backpack. This is the wrong one. This is the wrong, there we go. Put our normal map on it, click fix now so it actually assigns this texture to be a normal map. And then click on ours here, put that there. So we have our little radio. And then put this here, fix now. And then I need to add an emissive map. And with the pros of using the SDK, you can add emissive materials or add your own shaders or anything like that. So for example, I want to make these radio, like the little panels glow. There's a couple more panels around it, but right now this is just the main one. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to put on my emissive. I got to turn on emission. Put my emissive texture in there, and it's gonna be green. And we just need to set the intensity at 1.5. You don't want to set it too high because keep in mind these things will have bloom. So I mean that definitely looks strong, but it's not too bad. Now to actually make it into a Tarkov prefab, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the examples, go to the backpack, drag this in here, and essentially we're just going to compare these two. So you can see we have the skeleton, we have the loot and skin. I'm just going to disable this so we don't have to see it in here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, there we go, make sure all these positions are correct and they're good. So what we can do is we can create a new game object just by right clicking on our game object on the right side, or on the left side. We're going to name it loot, and then we're going to make another one and name it skin. Oh shit, I forgot. You should make a second version of this model. One just with a rig and one without a rig, so I gotta go do that real quick. I'll open up Blender and show you guys in a sec. So now that we're back in Blender, all we need to really do is just copy it. We can delete the skeleton from it and get the one that's copied. We're just gonna name this radio pack underscore loot, and then radio pack underscore skin. And I just realized these models are also mirrored for me, so I need to go ahead and fix that as well. But when you go ahead and put this radio pack at the bottom, you want to make sure it's centered. So I'd put it like that, and then all you have to do is just Control A, hit all transforms again to set the default position for this now. So this will be our loot model, the one that shows in our preview. Because the loot model and skin model, they're a little bit different. This one just wouldn't have an armature or anything. So let me go ahead and remove it on here. Granted, you don't have to remove it, but I choose to. So just make it cleaner. And then I also gotta go ahead and flip these as well. There we go. Oh fuck. Actually, no, let me not do that now. It's not a big issue. Because I'll remake this when I actually start porting more gear over later today. But yeah, that's how you make the loot model. So just make sure to go to the folder. We can go back to our folder here. If you make any mistakes or any issues, you can show the radio pack in Explorer. And then just copy over your blend file and paste it on there. And then it'll import it back in. And now our model's invisible, so we just have to make the prefab again, which is very quick and easy. Just gonna unpack it completely again. See, the textures are messed up for me, so I just gotta put them in the correct places. And then also texture this, the loop model down here. And then all I'll need to do is just remake the loot game object and the skin game object. From there, we can expand these. You can see we have the loot model in the loot, so we'll just drag it into there. And the skin model in the skin game object. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click on the backpack, click on the add component, click skin. From there, you can use, if you did it with my skeleton with the example rig, I left a preset here for you guys because it's the easiest way to do things. You just click on this example skin preset, and you'll have 58 paths, and this will be the entire skeleton needed. And then we can drag our skin, backpack into the skin mesh renderer. We just need to add one more, which is a backpack skin. And then we can drag this over into it as well. Make sure to do the skin first and then the backpack skin second. Now from here, what we can add is we can add should be a skin dress. Yep, and we have one LOD. Put our backpack there in the first LOD slot. And then we go to the radio pack. We're gonna find a dress item. We're gonna go for the loot. Drag the loot over from your hierarchy on the left to the loot prefab on the right. Make sure to do that for skin as well. Then we're going to add a preview pivot. And then we're just going to compare. You can see this should be relatively the same. Before I forget, I also need to go into my loot model. Make sure to go into the loot model and add a mesh collider. If it's not very complex, you can just add a box collider, but I do convex mesh colliders because it's just simple. And I don't have to go through and put a bunch of mesh or a bunch of box colliders on it. So from there, now it won't fall through the floor. So all we need to do now is just drag our radio pack parent prefab, which is this one here, the one that holds everything. Drag it down, and then give the asset bundle a name. You'll have this little window on the right side. Go to the bottom here. We're going to name the asset bundle just radio pack. I gotta scroll the way down because you can see all my stuff I've made in here. Give me a minute. Sometimes if it doesn't let you type the first time, you have to redo it. There we go, radio pack. I have .serif and .bundle. They're essentially the same thing, it's just different named extensions. So if you're making a mod and you want to leave your mark on it, you can change the .bundle to like .your name or .whatever. Like sometimes I'll pack my stuff with .serif, if I'm working on stuff for people. Just leave my little mark on it. And then, so we have radio pack, we have the name, and then we have the extension, which is bundle. Now what you're going to do, because this window may not be open here, is you're going to go to window, and then you're going to go to asset bundle browser, and then you'll have this window popped out. What we can do is we can actually drag this back into here. It either put it right where the scene is, or you could put it down here as well. But I've been putting it up here recently. So now that we have our asset bundle named with an extension, all we need to do is hit build. I moved my output path into a different folder, but where this output path should usually be is in your project. It'll just be built bundles, or it'll have a name. It'll have the output path here. Once your bundle is built, just go there, and you can see it's building. It takes a little time. There we go. So now we can go check. I can go to my built bundles. Now we can copy it and put it in our mod. Make sure you already have a mod set up for this. I'd assume you would. But if not, go to whatever server you're using, whether it be Jet, SPTAKI, or MTGA, or whatever servers exist in the future, and make a mod for that server that you're using, and make sure to set it up properly there. And then from there, put that bundle in your mod. That's what I'm going to go do right now, so I will start recording again once it's properly put in the mod. Now once we boot up the game, all we gotta do is find either the item we added or the item we replaced. Personally, I replaced one of my backpacks, so I didn't feel like making a whole new item for it right now, because I just wanted to record this for the tutorial. So we just gotta wait for the profile data to load. Give it some time. Then we go to trading, our item. See, it doesn't look like it, but you can see our items now in game, and it glows. So we'll buy it, take this off, put this on, check our character, and boom, we now have an item in the game. So that is how you make custom backpacks. I'll record one for custom vests as well, but it is pretty similar. Realistically, you just wouldn't need the backpack skin, but like I said, if you guys really need a tutorial for it, I'll go ahead and record it when I have free time. Yeah, that's about it. Have a good day, guys.